Greetings, brothers and sisters. Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Eva Maria. I've been away for quite a while, but, because my life's been crazy. But I have agreed that once in a while I'll come in to kind of fill in for people, or maybe if I'm able to, I might, maybe, though no promises, post videos occasionally, like on the odd Saturday. If I want to kind of chime in on something or, something like that. So anyway, this is season 9, week 5. I'm filling in for Quentin. And the topic is like religious jewelry, though I would like to consider it more like religious and or spiritual jewelry. And while the focus this week is more on like make, show, or, that kind of stuff, I decided I wanted to talk about the concept of religious and or spiritual jewelry, and then I'm going to kind of show you what I wear on a regular basis these days and kind of talk a little bit about that. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to do the best that I can to do right by you all. Also, I'd like to say it's great to be back, even if it is kind of just to fill in. Anyway. So, religious and or spiritual jewelry. Almost every faith, if not every faith or path, has adornment, as part of their traditions and or culture. And many times, that kind of adornment will come in the form of religious and or spiritual jewelry. In the pagan community, we often see certain common types of religious or spiritual jewelry. We often see pentacles, runes, crystals, beads, symbols of significance, depending on what path a person is part of. Also, occasionally seals, as in those that might be found in ceremonial magic books. Things like that. Though these are not the end-all and be-all of the kinds of spiritual and or religious jewelry that you can find out there. These are just like some of the more common types, and I'm sure a lot of you are aware of that. Also, I will say that it's not really necessary to wear religious and or spiritual jewelry. Some people, jewelry just isn't their bag, period. But if it resonates with you, I do encourage that you embrace the practice. If it's something that has a purpose or sort of calls to your soul, if that's something you want to do, by all means go for it. And then there's also the concept of, why, or the question of why, I should say. Sometimes spiritual and or religious jewelry, sometimes it's just an expression or an affirmation of someone's beliefs. You just want to show the world that you are a part of the greater community of believers in a certain path or practice or faith. But then sometimes, alternately or sometimes additionally to that, a piece of spiritual or religious jewelry can be an empowered item that can serve a purpose for you. Some such purposes can be, maybe you wear something for blessings, maybe you wear it for protection, maybe for luck or prosperity, or, maybe for empowerment or love or positivity. Usually if it's for positivity, they tend to be wards, like things that would ward, like let's say the evil eye or negativity or something like that. There's various purposes why one would wear an empowered piece. Sometimes it's not so much for just one thing either. It can be for many different purposes. For example, someone wearing, I know we're kind of focused on the pagan community here, but when we say religious or spiritual, really it is an all-encompassing these are all-encompassing terminologies. We are not, speaking in narrow terms. So let's say, for example, like a Christian wearing a cross. The cross isn't just for one thing. while, you know, it is also an affirmation of their faith and expression of what they believe in, for them, it can be an empowered item in the sense that they believe in, you know, the symbol, the power of the cross, and they see it as, you know, sort of a divine, I don't want to say they believe the cross itself is empowered, though. In my view, in a sense, it would be, because it's a symbol of their faith, and by faith, that item is then empowered, you know. So for them, it wouldn't just be like for positivity or just for blessings, or so, you know. For them, it would be for many things, and that can be the same in terms of someone in the pagan community. Let's say you have a Wiccan with a pentacle. That pentacle isn't just for, you know, blessings or empowerment or love, or, you know, it's kind of a greater sacred symbol for some people, that for some it is empowered to draw many sort of positive traits or many sort of positive things into their life. Another thing I want to say, in kind of touching upon the whole reasoning and understanding behind religious and or spiritual jewelry, is that if you choose to wear it, if it is your thing, it should really be meaningful to you. I know that there are a lot of newcomers to the fold of alternative faiths where they want to immerse themselves in what it is they are drawn to, and that's cool. I remember that feeling from when I was younger, but, you know, there's no dogma here. You know, some people will try to tell you there's dogma, but really there's not. So just because a lot of, let's say you're a Wiccan. Let's say a lot of Wiccans wear pentacles, you know, a lot of them do. That doesn't mean you need to wear a pentacle to be a Wiccan, but if you feel drawn to doing that, it should sort of, there should be meaning in it for you. You should sort of, I think, understand why you're wearing it. It might mean something differently to you than it means to the pagan next door or the Wiccan next door who also wears a pentacle. You know, it should really resonate with you and have a particular meaning for you. That is a meaning that is yours. And the reason I suggest this is because otherwise, it's not an expression of authenticity. And what I mean by that is, if you're wearing something just because you think you should wear it and you don't really feel connected to it, you're not living authentically. It's sort of like you're being dishonest in a sense with yourself. You're not being fair to yourself. That's something that is an injustice to yourself. It has nothing to do with other people. I'm saying this for yourself. So in that sense, if it's just an expression of something you believe, it should really be an expression of what you believe, regardless of the meanings that other people pin to it. It should have meanings that you associate with it. You know, if you're going to wear it in that respect, you know, as an affirmation and an expression of your faith, I believe. Or if it is to be used as an empowered item, I feel that when something has meaning to you, and it's going to be an empowered item, whether it's an ingredient in your spell work or whether it's something you wear to be sort of like an amulet or a talisman, the more meaning it holds for you, the association it holds for you, will empower it further, along with what you believe, you know, in general. Because you will imbue it emotionally, mentally, spiritually, with your energy, with your belief, with your faith, you know, all of that. And if you're wearing something that doesn't truly mean anything to you, or that doesn't resonate with you, it's sort of going to be a self-defeating practice, I feel. So that's why I say it should mean something to you on a very personal level. And at this point in the video, I'm ready to show you what I wear at this point on a regular basis. You'll notice that I don't wear any kind of pentacle or anything like that. I used to when I was early on in my path and practice. You know, I started as a Wiccan many years ago. I was a teenager, and I used to wear a pentacle, and I used to feel very, you know, connected to that and all. And sometimes, occasionally, I still will pull it out and wear it. But it's become more personal to me. The reason I don't wear it so much anymore is because I feel it's not for other people. Not that wearing jewelry is ever really for other people, but I feel sort of more private about it. There are people out there in the world who will see you wearing something and they will feel compelled to make comments and start drama. Some people that are closed-minded maybe don't have the same beliefs or understanding or, you know, whatever. And for me, it's the path of least resistance to keep that private and just to wear it when I feel that I want to. I choose when I want to display that to the public. So that's why I don't wear a pentacle, really. It's sort of like, it's not that I'm in the closet, it's that it's easier for me in my situation. I'm not telling anyone else what to do. It's just something that I find is easier for myself to avoid the drama and wear it when I feel I want to or I feel it's appropriate. So what I do wear, I have this bracelet that I wear regularly. It's going to appear backwards, but it's got my name on it. And it has these two little Nazar beads, these little eye beads, and this was made for me by my best friend in California. And the little eye beads, they're called Nazars, and what they do is they ward the evil eye. Personally, I believe that in life, unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are just jealous, bitter. Sometimes people mean well, but for whatever reason, they just, if they're not happy, nobody can be happy. And they have, even if they don't state things, even if they don't cast spells, their sort of bitterness and their like inner desire to see you fail, I believe it can create obstacles for you, you know. So it's a good idea, in my opinion, to wear a Nazar to thwart that, to ward that, because whether they mean to or not, sometimes the interference of other people's opinions and thoughts and feelings, you know, that bitterness or that like jealousy kind of, whether it's conscious or deliberate or not, I feel that it happens. It's common. It does. It does happen, in my opinion. And so that's why I wear my bracelet with, I'll show it again. It has my name in the middle in cute little like colored block beads. And then there's these little Nazars on the side. This is totally handmade. It's like stretchy. And there's blue and clear other beads around it. And this is something that I wear on a regular basis, sort of as a like cheap insurance, almost like a protection, you know, because I feel like you shouldn't seek out protection or specific positive things to aid you only when things are going bad. If anything, I feel that you should seek to, like maintenance, like you should seek to thwart negativity or draw positivity, things like that, when things are good. You know, do this when things are good, not when you're at your worst. You could, I mean, if you didn't think of it and then suddenly you're in a bad position, by all means, do what you got to do. But I think the greatest time, the most ideal time to maintain positivity is to ensure it when things are going good, you know? So in other words, when you're feeling blessed, great time to do blessing work, or wear or empower. You can empower jewelry for religious or spiritual purposes by charging it or casting spells over it or whatever, praying over it, over pieces. You would do blessing work would be great to do when you're feeling blessed. Why do I say this, for example? And I'm using blessings as an example. Because we know that in spell work we are told to summon feelings as though we already have a thing. So, if you want blessings, for example, a great time to call in blessings is when you're feeling blessed. You're already feeling that. You're already in the emotional space. You're already in that head space, you know, in that head place, that emotional place and in that head space. You're already there. they're already yours. So this is more conducive to bringing in more of the same. The same would be true for anything else, you know, love, empowerment, luck, prosperity, whatever it is that you want to draw to your life, whether it's through religious or spiritual jewelry, or honestly by any other magical or spiritual means, your resonance is going to matter. So I suggest the ideal time to call in good things is when good things are already present. Okay? Now the other thing that I wear, it's actually two things. I have these rings that I wear on my right hand, on my middle finger. One is like a silver tone ring, and one is sort of like various shades, because it's like twisted metals, of like copper and similar colors. I don't know exactly the metals this is made out of, but one is like more lunar colored, one is more solar colored. And these are an example. I consider these religious or spiritual jewelry, though they don't look like that. And this is something I wanted to raise the point that you don't have to wear a piece that is specifically made to be religious and or spiritual. Like, you can, if something means something to you, by all means, that can be your religious and or spiritual jewelry if it means something to you, and wearing it has, again, either a meaning or an empowerment behind it. So what these rings mean, by having the sort of lunar color and the solar color, these rings, they represent for me duality, like the sun and moon, the yin and yang, you know, masculine and feminine, all that sort of stuff like that. So therefore they're very symbolic of the balance, you know, the balance of forces in creation. Also, circles, they have the association and symbolism for me of wholeness and completion, because they are a ring without beginning or end. They also have a sense of like eternity to them. Being that I wear these rings on my right hand, they are symbolic of positivity, because oftentimes the right side of the body is associated with positivity, where the left side is considered symbolic of negativity. Though, of course, like everything, this is debatable. There's no dogma here. What else did I want to say? Being that I wear them on my middle finger, that is also a sign of balance, because the finger in the middle, it's like the middle way, the balance, not too much one way, not too much the other way. So yeah, you know, these for me have a lot of positive and holistic sort of meanings, these rings, and they're very inconspicuous. You know, I don't have to worry about, like, is the Bible thumper down the street gonna give me trouble? You know, really, you know, he or she will not, because they just look like little rings, you know. And even my Nazar bracelet is rather harmless looking, you know. Most people just think, oh, that's a cute little name bracelet, you know. So it's, I like my religious and or spiritual jewelry to kind of be like on the DL, because it's just easier that way. So yeah, you know, these are my pieces that I wear on a regular basis now. My rings, and again, you can see like the one sort of silver tone and one sort of more coppery goldish, you know, and all that. So I guess this is all I really have for you on the subject of religious and or, you know, spiritual jewelry, where I know that everyone else is more focused on like how to make things, you know, showing off their pieces more, probably. I don't really watch everyone else's videos, and sort of along those lines. But I did want to sort of just talk about the general concept of it before showing what I wear all the time. I hope you found this video fun. I'm sorry about the changes in the light. This is not the greatest setup I have here. Yeah, a lot of transitions and things are going on in my life right now. I mean, in a good way, but you know, I do what I can do. But I hope you've had fun watching me as a fill-in host for this episode for Quentin. And I guess until I see you guys again, until I have the opportunity, I'm going to wish you all blessed be and Ashe. You all stay awesome. And bye-bye for now.